Hello, everybody. We are those guys you hate.
Welcome to the show that encourages you to be your best self by not being like us.
My brother and I hopelessly search for nuance as we wade through wacky segments and crazy conversations.
If you can withstand the insanity, you might actually learn something.
Tyler, what has stoked your interest this week?
Ryan, we are going to do our best to discover the difference between what constitutes sexual harassment or am I just having a good time? And a guaranteed way to win a fight every time. What about you, Ryan?
Tyler, this week I give you my favorite conspiracy theory ever, and I also give you the top 3 moments of our latest trip to Costa Rica, and they're kind of embarrassing. So let's get into it.
I do not see aging as a bad thing. Far from it. It's something that I believe we should celebrate. However, I don't appreciate when things come out of left field to remind me that I am aging. It's simultaneously fascinating and depressing that I can keep up with how quickly I am aging based on what the local oldies station is playing. Next up, that oldies hit, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Fuck you, radio. How do you feel about that, Ryan?
I thought you were about to tell me that your testicles finally touched toilet water.
No, I'm not there yet. Okay. I'm just going music first. If that's okay,
let's start there.
This is a little bit more easy to digest.
Well, that happened to me a long time ago. I remember on our classic rock station down here, I heard Pearl Jam, and that was a long time ago. Now,
yeah,
so
about 30 years ago.
I'm unlike you. I struggle with my aging. It's something that I am very aware of.
I mean, maybe I'll get there. How long have you been feeling that way? Because I'm 36. You're 6 years older than I am. How long have you been feeling that way exactly?
It's hard to put an actual number on it, but I would say somewhere around there. Okay. I guess when I first started seeing signs of aging, that water is so cold.
What?
That water is so cold.
That water is so cold. I don't understand the reference you're making.
On my testicles, Tyler.
Okay, got you.
And we're back.
Why is it always back to your testicles? We just started the show talking about music, and you have brought it to your testes, dunking in water in some way, shape, or form in 2 ways.
It was a callback from the original one, and you remember
60 seconds ago.
You remember that when you were a little kid, as you're growing up, your mom makes marks on the wall as you get taller and taller.
You do that on your toilet bowl?
Well, I mean, it's the opposite of that. As you get older, you know.
But you have to have somebody else do that for you.
At one point.
You can't mark it yourself, then you're not marking accurately.
Well, so the music thing is definitely one. Just for me, for such a long time, I would look in the mirror and I would see the kid from high school. Maybe that's some sort of psychological disorder.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody's like that, but I think that's where I started worrying about aging, was the vanity stuff. When I looked in the mirror and I no longer saw that kid, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, it is seeing our parents' age, where you look at mom and dad and you see how much older they are and you're like, oh shit, like time is moving.
Yeah, and they're really not going to be here forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is a great way to do it. And kids are a great way to do it, because you look at your kids, especially if you don't have them all the time. And if they come back 2 days later and you're like, what in the hell? Ben, our youngest family member, when he's not torturing us incessantly, you have a minute to stop and be like, damn, dude, you're a huge man.
Yeah, everybody needs a hobby, and he has his. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
You will give me the secrets.
We are. Is that because he's half German?
Yeah.
Is that why you did that tone?
Yes. I went to Hogan's Heroes, as everyone does.
We are those guys you hate. I am here with my brother, Ryan.
Is he half German? He is mostly German.
He is half German.
I don't know.
What are you talking about? His father has no German in him.
Well, like Michael is the same amount of Spanish as me, but he's not. That kid is a lot German.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's an Aryan wet dream. I'm sorry, I'll get out of your way.
Good God, man. Right. He's 4. Ryan, how are you this week?
I'm doing well. We've had a weird week. I'm a little hungover now. I'm feeling a little punchy, but I'm happy to be in here with you, buddy.
Great. Ditto. I am Tyler. As I said, welcome to Those Guys You Hate. Let's jump right into depression index.
We'll fix that in post.
No one cares.
What the depression index is a machine that we built with our bare hands, and we crank it up to let you know how down we are. Ryan, how are you feeling this week?
Chunky.
Well, at least you didn't do it into the microphone.
You
this
saw
time.
me look that one off, right? I think that was a balk.
You're growing up, buddy.
I doubt that. I'm doing well, man. Even at this point in my life, even when I'm not feeling 100%, I maintain my navigation. Yesterday, after buying a new car, my very first new car, 2025, it's very nice, and I'm developing appreciation for it as time has gone on. When I first bought it, I'm like, it's fine. I'm really growing to love it. I woke up to a flat tire, and for most people, they would say, "Who cares?" But Tyler, you know what that means to me.
Yeah. Well, a flat tire is obviously frustrating.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
it's inconvenient, but to me,
yeah.
It suggests that I'm haunted.
I really, that's where I was going to go. I think that you have a ghost following you of some kind that is able to take control of technology around you and make sure it does not function the way it is supposed to.
It's the strangest thing. And again, this is the purpose of why I'm saying this. I had so many problems with my last car, and really just cars since I've been driving, that when I got this new car, it's just such a weight off your shoulders to like, okay, I don't have to think about that anymore for a while. So to have a flat tire and have to go through that same process, my mind wanted so badly to go into victim mode, even though there's nobody to blame except for God, who's obviously doing this to me.
Maybe God's the ghost that's following you around.
Truly. Oh, it's the Holy Ghost.
It's the Holy Spirit.
Truly, it sounds crazy, but I do believe in God. My mind does go like, why are you doing this? Like, I'm good to you. We have a good relationship. Why are you bearing down on me like this? Is there something I'm supposed to learn here? And I really gave it my all to not go into victim mode, to just be like, hey, this is an inconvenience. This is going to happen your whole life. Deal with it, bro. Maybe this saved your life somehow by getting this flat tire. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing to point out, in my opinion, because when that voice immediately goes into, how could this happen to me? You've immediately gone into victim.
Yeah,
for sure. That is victim mentality. No, I'm telling the audience.
Yeah,
that is
I'm
victim
agreeing with you.
mentality. It is how dare this happen to me? It's not happening to you. It has just happened, and you're on the receiving end of it.
It's just when you keep hitting that same nerve over and over again, it's only human to feel, to reject it. You know what I mean? But I really maintained that thought process, and I was aware of it while still being a little bit cranky. I just put one foot in front of it. It really did eat up my whole day, and it seems unfair.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I'll take this bullet. No, I really did. I tried to spin it into a positive. So
That's one high caliber metaphorical bullet right there, man.
Yeah, man, you guys are welcome. I took it for you. This week, we went to Costa Rica. I have thoughts on that. I love Costa Rica. More on that later. I'm at a 4, baby. 1, 2,
that's
3,
good.
4. I just kind of made that up. I feel fine. I don't really know. It's hard to put a number on it.
Yeah.
Tyler, how are you?
I'm good, buddy.
You know, I notice when I see these clips, I'm always looking down. I watch the show through the computer instead of looking at you.
Yeah.
We don't have a direct sight line, but it looks weird on the camera.
Yeah, I'm constantly staring at you, so I kind of noticed.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I watch us through this camera.
You just want to see your face on the camera. You want to be facing
I'm looking
directly
at both of us. I'm looking
at
at
the
me.
camera.
I'm looking at me.
Yeah.
Like if you FaceTime me, I'm only looking at myself.
Gotcha.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, gotcha. You really distracted me there with what
Tyler,
you said.
how are you this
I'm
week,
good.
man?
I'm good. Thank you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm doing all right. I'm in a very strange place right now in my life because I'm still giving in to those coping behaviors that I have with the alcohol and partying and all that kind of stuff. But I also, for whatever reason, I have entered into this phase over the last week or two where I feel like I'm right on the cusp of some kind of like big change. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it comes from, and I'm not questioning it. I'm just going to go with it.
Go with the flow.
And go with the flow. That's it. So I don't really have a theme for this week, but
how is that representing itself? Like you're saying, I'm getting these feelings. Like what do you mean?
Just what's in my head. I'm still, as I said, partaking in, like drinking at night and all the, difference. Eating poorly is
be specific.
Eating poorly is a big one for me.
Yeah.
I really struggle when I'm not flying high. I really struggle with eating even remotely well. even remotely.
And I guess that stands to reason that your food is connected to your feelings. I think that's true for damn near everybody.
Yeah, well, food was my very first addiction, and it has always been my strongest addiction. Food was my original drug.
And it's so easy to access.
Yes, and it puts you into a state of shock when you eat too much, which is why I gorged through my entire life.
It numbs you.
Very much so.
See, for that idea of like eating a Thanksgiving dinner and then being stuck to the couch, that is a form of numbing.
Exactly right.
For me, that feels like shit. I'm so used to we're opposites in this way. When I don't have energy, the way that I feel factors into what I want to eat for whatever reason.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It feels like shit.
Yeah.
But it's I would rather feel like shit like that than feel like shit like this.
That's sad.
It's choose. Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I mean, that's what drugs and alcohol are.
Oh, absolutely.
You have the high of doing it in the moment.
Women,
and then,
gambling.
Yeah. And then immediately after, you're like, wow, I feel so much worse than I did before.
This is the kind of porn that I like?
Yeah.
Ew.
I've accepted that long time ago.
No, not me. I shut it off. I shut it immediately.
Wow, I mean, it'd be weird if you kept watching it after you were done.
Those shame boners, though, you're rigid.
Waiting to see how it ends?
The guy never came.
He never paid for his pizza.
This thing has a hole in it, and I'm not paying full price.
So I'm really putting forth all my effort that no matter how I feel, no matter what behaviors I am partaking in, although I am working to get better at that, no matter what is happening in my life, I am working at so hard just to let go, and whatever happens, happens. How do I know that these behaviors that I'm partaking in right now aren't going to serve me down the line? I'm supposed to do them now so I can heal and learn from them, and it'll improve me in the future.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, or maybe I'm just making an excuse, and I'm just destroying my life.
Yep.
Who knows?
Only time will tell.
That's right.
But for me, that's like all addicts, and you and I are definitely addicts. For whatever you got, we will do it.
Mm-hmm. Why, you got something? I'll do it. Give it to me.
I got a pizza with a hole in it. And if you can take it, it is really burning me right now.
Why did I put so much cheese on it?
I got a case of the onion rings. But I don't even know. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay. That's
but the superpower of every addict is the ability to rationalize in any moment. Where I go in with the game plan last night, I'm saying, hey, Ryan, we're not going to party too much today. And then when you get into the teeth of it, it is like, bro, whatever my mind says, it's bullshit. My mind tells me it's okay, and I'm like, you've never lied to me before, and we do it, and every time it gets me.
Yeah.
I mean, I get me. I shouldn't disassociate.
Sure. Yeah. And not every time. There have been
Ryan, you're a dick.
Plenty of times. He's kidding. That's not how we talk to ourselves. Plenty of times where you've gone in and not drank. So it's not every time.
Don't remember those times.
Got you. Well, it's all the drinking you do on the other
times.
There's
got to be times, right?
This week, I am going to go ahead and say that I'm perfectly neutral. So I'm going to go the average of 10, which is 5.5. Am I allowed to do that?
Let's see what we got here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Nice.
That was good, man.
Nice.
I don't know how you rigged the system that way,
5.5.
but I'm impressed.
Yeah. Well, let's take a break. We will come back and make sure our math is right. Hey, everyone. If you're anything like us, you've struggled with depression, anxiety, isolation, or any number of things that hold you back in life.
Or do you procrastinate a little too much? Maybe you've had trouble with self-control or even just going through a tough time. Regardless of whatever it is you're going through, therapy can help.
For me, Ryan, it's completely changed the way I deal with my problems. Even the relationship with my own thoughts have improved dramatically.
And that's why we're excited to tell you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp.
BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is so important to us because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area.
BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you up to a professional therapist in as little as a few days.
It's easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. Go to betterhelp.com/thoseguys or click on the link in the show's description. Clicking on that link not only supports us, but supports you.
And we want to support you too by giving you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp to connect with a therapist and see if it helps you.
Finding the right therapist is so important, someone that you really connect with, and BetterHelp has made that easier than ever. Switching therapists until you find the right one without having to worry about insurance or any additional fees.
You know, Tyler, when I first had my son, I felt so many emotions that I had never experienced in my life. Therapy really helped me figure out what was going on.
Well, that is betterhelp.com/thoseguys. Help the show by supporting the people that help us.
Those guys.
Birds do it.
I'm not saying that it is wrong.
They seem pretty smart.
Yeah, bird brain. That's what you call somebody when you want to. Wise as an old owl.
And
there.
you want to insult somebody, you call him Einstein. It's calling him a human being is the biggest insult to their intelligence. Bird brain, I say we make it a positive.
You hate.
I know that you're wrong, but I can't figure out how to argue against what you just said.
So I think that technically makes me right.
I think you're right here.
Woo!
I'm bowing out respectfully.
Those guys.
And we're back.
Hey!
And we are back. I think everybody in the States knows what that is. The Bloomin' Onion from
those
Outback Steakhouse.
I think they're better than the Bloomin' Onion.
Sure. Yeah.
Because
the one
it's just
from
bigger
Longhorn.
pieces.
Yeah.
Tyler pointed out to me over the break that there are no onion rings on pizza.
Not normally. You obviously could.
You could, and that brought me great shame. So we're please forgive me for that. The joke stands on its own, but
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's kind of whimsical.
You know what he's talking about.
I burned around my testicles. All right,
That is not a cock ring.
third testicle. Maybe he's born with it. Third testicle and last testicle reference of the show.
Oh, set the intention right now. I'm going to hold you to that.
I'm thinking about referencing it right now. That's just my sense of humor, Tyler. So we'll see.
Now, Ryan, you promised the audience that you were going to deliver to them the top 3 moments from our trip to Costa Rica. That's right. We're better than you. Costa Rica, baby.
Can I do them one at a time?
No, I already have the segment broken up throughout the show, so you're good to go.
You're the best, and forgive me if I'm de-stepping here.
No, you're good.
I just want to say very quickly, because this means so much to me, and I wax poetic on every single person that I talk to about it, and I don't know why I'm so passionate about this.
Mm-hmm.
Costa Rica speaks to me deeply, and if you've been listening to the show, perhaps there are parallels, and they have nothing. They have, comparatively speaking, they have nothing, and yet my vibe from the outside looking in is that they have everything.
Yeah.
They spend time with their family. We went down that. Well, I'll get more to it later, but I'll bring this back up. But you walk down the street at 3 p.m. on a Monday, and families are sitting out on their patios, listening to the radio, maybe cooking up a little meat, spending time together, and they seem to be more content than we ever have been. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. It's not so much that, and I understand what you're saying when you say comparatively they have nothing, but I think the real way to view it is they lead a much more simple life, and simple is in so many ways, if not every way, happier, more content. Just happy with what you have.
So why do we reject it so much as a species, you and I? I mean, do you think you could go do that?
It's not, I think I could acclimate eventually. It would be very hard. It would be such a culture shock for me, but I absolutely think I could, but I think a lot of people couldn't. I'm in a place right now where there's a part of me that longs for that sort of thing.
As do I.
Yeah.
And I said this, and I will move on right now. I've been saying this about the guy who sells water bottles at Manuel Antonio National Park, and that's his whole job. Every day he gets up and goes to bed, and that's what he does, and he's happier than we've ever been. Never did it hit me harder than going there as an adult. We haven't been there in 10 years, and I spent a lot of time walking around. When people weren't doing anything, I'm a mover. I went out and just walked around, and man, I really soaked it up, and it hit me a million times harder than before.
Yeah.
And there is a part of me that longs for that. Now, enough of that spiritual bullshittery. Let's get into embarrassing ourselves. So here is our third top memory. I hope the bed serves it well.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Do I have to wait for this?
I feel like to give it this due respect.
I feel like I'm disrespecting you here.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, we're long past that.
Number 3, Tyler, is when a young man that was with us, who is not of legal drinking age in the States, but is of legal drinking age in Costa Rica, drank too much and got his first dire vomiting experience. What are your thoughts on that?
It happens to the best of us. I don't think, in reference to drinking too much, it has anything to do with legal drinking age, because I have been in that position many times after the age of 21, which is the age here in the States where you're legally allowed to drink.
I'm just setting the tone so that people truly understand. And it involved me in a drunken state having to get, because I love this kid. He's not a blood member of the family, but I love him like a son. Getting up and cleaning up this young man's puke. And the purpose of me telling this is to also sprinkle on top of it how drunk Tyler was at this time, while I am doing something that I truly hate.
Yeah, I was.
Tyler
I was having a great time.
Is playing defense against living. He is just causing all.
What has living done for us?
Just causing all sort of havoc, perhaps having a psychotic break. I'm not sure, but it was. Could you give him the classic line of the as we're talking to Tyler? Hey, Tyler, you are causing an issue right now with your drunkenness. This is very serious. I need you to stop doing that. Your response was?
Imagine you would try to make Pac-Man mouths with both hands.
Little
you
hand puppets.
Turn them inward like little puppets. You go, me, 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 me. Oh.
He's looking you in your eyes. You're the left hand. He's the right hand. And what he thinks about what you're saying to him is me, 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 me. It was challenging to say the least. So that is my first Costa Rica memory.
That brings me such joy.
It certainly does. We hit you with a little spiritual, and then we show you our shame. So we open up the trench coat.
That was my spiritual.
And there is our shame. And again, I was just slightly less drunk. I was just drunk enough to still be able to realize what Tyler's doing now is very inappropriate.
You know what makes me so proud of that moment, and I mean this sincerely? Not that long ago, when I used to get blackout drunk, I would get so emotional or angry.
Yeah, you were pretty peaceful.
Yeah,
in a chaotic manner.
I was just making myself laugh.
You weren't mean. You were just a dick. It was weird. And then to top it off,
that's a fine line to walk, ladies and gentlemen.
He wasn't being aggressive. He was just being a little dickhead. And to top it off, this young man got up for some reason and walked just face first into the sliding glass door to where it sounded like a bomb went off. And we thought that maybe Tyler had walked in. Luckily, Tyler was just drunk and lying like a sarcophagus in our aunt's bed, who was very alarmed.
Very alarmed. As she should have been.
As she should have been.
Yeah.
And she was being nice, and she was like, you could sleep here, but her eyes had that of a hostage video.
I think we had grown closer as a family because of it. If only I could remember it. Sure. It's unfortunate.
Sure. She did get another little condo for the rest of the trip, but whatever. I think that people really love our little embarrassing stories. I think that that's the highlight of those guys you hate.
They're great.
Thank you for letting me do that. If I hear that, it really it like triggers PTSD in my body.
I'm sure that will be the last you ever hear of it. Let's get into. Ryan. Oof. Tell them what an oof is, please.
When I believe the kids call it cringy, when somebody does something that they just have no self-awareness. Tyler likes to set them up and just give them a kind little oof.
A little jab in the side and be like, oh,
you're not douche of the week, but it's like, hey, just pay attention here.
Yeah. Now, if I say the name Anthony Ammirati, do you know who I'm talking about?
Nice alliteration, but I'm unfamiliar with Mr. Ammirati.
Ammirati, sure. I think is how you say it. He is and I know you know this story. It's been talked about worldwide over the last week. The Olympics are, I think, still going on, if I'm not mistaken.
When are the Olympics?
And right now, about coming to an end, the pole vaulter, Ryan. Oh. Do you remember the pole vaulter?
I'm familiar.
He is known around the world as the guy who lost due to his gigantic bulge hitting the crossbar.
My magnum dong.
Yeah, his wiener hit the crossbar. Even though that's not true, what actually hit the bar that ruined it was his shins.
His testicles?
His shins.
Damn it.
And then his knee.
Really?
And then it bounced off and it happened to catch him on the underside.
Nobody gives a shit. Like, that was his dick, and we all... I will put the Mandela effect in right now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that the bar did catch it. It just, that wasn't the deciding factor.
It was afterwards.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Now, when this first came out, I admit I laughed. It was hilarious. This guy's dick brought the bar down. Hilarious.
It's a funny concept.
It is a funny concept, but when does it become inappropriate? Does it start out inappropriate? Because just imagine the entire world is talking about this guy's penis and fantasizing about it. He's been offered a $250,000 contract for a 60-minute video. I mean,
what do you do with the other 58 minutes? Am I right?
when does it become inappropriate?
I think that really lies in how he feels about it. Now, let me ask you, if it were to happen to you, what would you think?
The entire world talking about my wang? I don't know. It's hard to say.
Let's think about it. I think there would be some narcissistic part of me
For sure.
that would like it.
There might be, for sure, but there's also a part where all eyes are on you. And I think it's...
I like that.
But I think the entire world simultaneously focusing on
Let's try it.
a single part. Well, you got to take a pole vaulting, so good luck with that. Yeah, and that's the thing is that yes, there would be some narcissistic points to it, but at the same time,
Sure.
I think that it comes into play how women feel a lot of the time, where it's like
absolutely.
they're just being objectified
Or
constantly.
me at a gay bar.
Oh God, the gays love you.
I'm like, is this what I've been doing to people? Truly, like when a guy is very aggressive with me in a way that makes me uncomfortable, it's hard not to be like, man, women must go through this all the time.
Yeah.
You're much weaker. You're in a state of vulnerability at all times. It's interesting to see that. So I would be interested to know how he is taking it, if that's the right way.
Well,
to say
he has put out a video on TikTok acknowledging it, and he made a joke of it. You know, like it was just a photo of him like looking off in the distance, and I believe he's Italian, so it was in a foreign language, but it was basically along the lines of like when you're a pole vaulter and everybody, thinks of you in a specific way.
He made it a meme.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's fine on the internet. Imagine when you go out to places, and now that's what people know you for. That's what people want to talk to you about.
a table for you, Mr. Big Dick.
Why? Oh, well, they were in France. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Honestly, I didn't even consider that. That just worked out. This is my waiter.
Was that your Italian? Oh,
Yes.
it's just your generic waiter.
Yes, I'm slowly turning into Triumph the Insult Comedy Dog. So please stop talking to me.
I have no one else in the room to talk
For
to,
me
buddy.
to move on.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious, and I don't mean to be the killjoy. I just wonder, when does this become inappropriate? When should we stop talking about this?
Well, this is the world of, we're living in a Haktua world. You know what I mean? We're living in a... Social media is a respecter of no man. They will just steamroll you. They don't give a shit about your feelings. All this, I think about this all the time with true crime, where somebody is a suspect and the internet makes that person's life a living hell. This is real. Somebody really died. This isn't a meme. This is fucking real. That's my massive dong that you're talking about.
that happened to what's her name on Tiger King?
Terry Schiavo.
No, she was the victim. I'm
Is she
talking
okay?
about.
What?
No, they pulled the
What?
plug a little while ago. Yeah,
Alien.
Yeah. I'm talking about the girl from the woman from Tiger King, where in the documentary they alluded to that she buried her husband under the tank in her yard. She got harassed by so many people. She didn't do it.
I'm just learning right now that she didn't do it.
She did. She never did it.
What was her name?
I'm trying to think. I gotta look it up.
Remember he called her a bitch? You remember? It was
Yes. Who knew that guy was a bad person?
Most notably, he called her a bitch. Man, that's so funny. Tiger King, what a time, huh?
That was right when COVID hit, and
COVID
everybody was
take
just
me.
yeah. It was
That is one of the few like TV show things that I allowed myself to join in on.
yeah. Carol Baskin. Carol Baskin.
You're right. Just the name of hearing the sound of her name sparks a little chuckle in me. She's been made a meme for something terrible that I'm sure hurts her very badly.
And a murderer of her husband. There's
Yeah.
zero evidence, but the entire collective of the world went, that bitch murdered that guy.
Well, and true crime
The
is
fuck, dude?
so popular. That's running rampant, and you have these online detectives that spend their lives, kind of scraping the catacombs and people, their real life circumstances. This guy with his dick, he's dealing with some of that.
Agreed. And okay, and I will get off of this, but world, person to person, everybody that can hear me, not to be a killjoy, but do better.
And let
Do better.
Let the Haktua thing go too. Like,
Please.
My son is already making fun of people for that. That means it's jumped the shark.
It's definitely done. But did you see the dong on that guy?
I'd
my
Haktua
God.
that thing.
Oh, what?
And the testicles.
Ryan, you've got mail.
Wait a minute, you didn't play oof.
Ah, shit. Shit, I totally
Damn, dog.
forgot.
Do you get the show?
I don't. So for the entire world out there, I'm going to have to hit you with a...
Ugh, that's the worst.
I know.
That
or the cat vomit. Which one do you like more?
That conjures up like really bad things. Cat vomit is just wet and gross, and it squeezes between your toes.
Yeah, that too. All right, Ryan, let's jump into You've Got Mail.
I don't know how Drucifer does that headbanging, man. That's 2 seconds, and I feel like the lead singer from Slipknot.
Constant concussion. What happened to him?
I think we've done this on the show. His neck. Anyway, go ahead and give me your
review.
You Got Mail.
Ryan, usually we send this in an email and we show each other a video or whatever it is, just for the sake of ease. I loaded it up right here, so I'm going to ask you to direct your attention to the video clip on your screen. Now, before I do, let me just say...
Oh, you look great, man.
Thank you. Now, let me just say that you and I are not violent people, Ryan. Right? Would you agree with that?
I think I got a little bit of that in me, but I've never punched anybody in the face.
But you would avoid it at all costs.
I do.
Yes.
I don't go to violence for sure.
But sometimes fights, they're unavoidable. You have to defend yourself if somebody attacks you.
Are you about to make me watch a fight?
No. Well, kind of, but here's how it's going to work. What if you're like me, someone who abhors violence? I'm as close to being a pacifist as one can be without actually being one. I believe that you're allowed to fight back to defend yourself.
Oh, so a pacifist believes you just got to sit there and eat it?
You never fight, ever. Pacifist is no violence, correct.
Okay.
Gandhi was a pacifist. But you need an ace in the hole, and you fight with your mind.
Okay.
So here is how I show you how to win a fight, hands down, no matter what. Ryan, I would like you to tell the people what's happening in this short video.
If you make me watch something I don't like, Tyler, I'm going to be very disappointed.
I think you're actually going to love this.
All right, there's a big dude. There's a little dude. What? Oh, okay, big dude, little dude. They're about to fight. Is he?
You got to narrate it, dude.
You're right. Okay, big dude, little dude.
Let's do it again.
I'm sorry. I was just mesmerized. I can't believe what I just saw. I'm serious.
We'll shorten that in editing to make it just seem shocking.
I don't know that we should. I think that they should feel the real gravitas of what I'm looking at. All right, big dude, little dude. Big guy's ready to fight.
Yeah.
Little dude takes off his shirt. Then he takes off his pants. And is he wearing a Borat?
He's wearing a Borat suit.
Now the bigger guy runs away. The little guy runs after him without moving his arms as if he's carrying invisible suitcases. So he's just really scooting after him. It's very disturbing, and I would run from that as well.
Correct.
I don't want to touch that.
The moment that he removes his pants, the bigger dude turns around and speed walks away,
Sure.
to which the little dude speed walks after him.
But in a way that is very, you know, when you see somebody crab walking, it conjures up a demon.
Correct.
That is just a crazy person.
Yeah.
You're running without your torso moving at all, and it's disturbing and it's hurtful.
So if you want to win a fight without ever having to throw a punch, just get naked.
Always have. Wasn't he wearing a Borat slingshot?
Yeah, but his
balls were out.
His twig and berries, I'm sure, were showing
Some
something.
call those testicles.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, that was good. I like that one. That wasn't bad at all. No blows were exchanged in any possible way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That's a guaranteed way. My ring light just went out.
Your chili ring. My phone blipped too, so it's got to be something with the plug.
Okay. All right. Well, we're just gonna have to run with it. I mean, what are you gonna do? I'm in shadow
You
a
still
little
look
bit.
great,
I
you
look pretty
piece
good.
of shit.
I look pretty good. This
I
isn't
want to see
terrible.
how I look with mine on.
Let me see. Oh my God!
Ew, dude.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad.
It looks like the surface of the moon.
Yeah, it's not terrible. You look like you should have a single light bulb hanging above you and you're reading some kind of true crime documentary.
Or I'm in a
notes.
detective, like a noir film. Like, so, what did you say to Cindy Lovelace, huh?
We had to protect her identity, so she sits in shadow.
I've done a lot of impressions on the show today.
Now, Ryan, let's do a douche of the week and then we can go to break.
All right, let's do a douche of the week. All right, what you got, Tyler?
This is an easy one. And I think this is something that the majority of you out there have experienced. For my douche of the week, people who clap when the plane lands. Were you expecting it to crash, you assholes?
Weird one.
Don't put that bad juju on me, okay? I would really appreciate it if you would keep that kind of shit to yourself.
That's now, who are you choosing? I can't even see you anymore.
No.
Who are you choosing? Are you choosing I already know the answer to this. The plane clappers or the line skippers? There is a plane etiquette where we go row by row. If you tried to get ahead of your row, you're the ultimate airplane asshole.
Oh, no. That's not even douche of the week. You should be thrown out of the airplane while it's 30,000 feet up.
Well, we don't know that they should bring the plane back up.
Yeah.
They should take you up.
Yeah.
Skydiving
without a parachute.
That's terrible. That's terrible behavior.
It's the people who clap are douches. If you try to get to the front of the plane and not wait your turn, you're just an asshole.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like pushing old ladies out of the way. That person's a douche.
Correct. And if you push an old lady out of the way on the plane, then you're forgiven. They kind of cancel each other out.
like George Costanza.
People who clap when the plane lands, you're my douche of the week.
All right, Tyler. I think we're taking we're trading here. I'm doing an actual person instead of just a swath.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to do it backwards. I'm going to do this Quentin Tarantino style.
All right.
This famous person exhibits what is known as the dark triad. Have you ever heard of the dark triad?
I have not.
Narcissism, Machiavellianism, I think I nailed that, and psychopathy. So if you have those three things. I like psychopathy. Shut up. We're definitely editing that. This person, we'll see as I give you the clues, it'll become more and more evident who it is.
Okay.
But this person is truly a James Bond villain with these three traits. Okay. Narcissist loves himself so much that he's created 12 children.
Oh, that's Elon Musk.
Oh,
sorry. I was guessing.
It could be the dad from the Brady's. Just hear me out.
Is it Philip Rivers? Yeah. He's got a lot of kids.
In a bolo tie.
Yeah.
He wants to save humanity by colonizing the solar system.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is...
I like the idea of that.
Okay, well, he said it, guys. Okay.
No, I like the idea of us branching out and going to other planets. I love the idea of that. It's just we're not close to it yet.
Okay. Influences outcome of elections using his public sway.
Correct.
His huge donations. Purchased and took over Twitter, Machiavellianism, social influence over the world, and finally, him declaring his son dead for coming out.
His daughter.
Thank you.
That one I'm saving you
And
on.
lastly, Musk declaring his daughter dead for coming out transgender. That is your psychopathy. Just being able to just let go of your flesh and blood because they made a choice that you don't agree with.
Yeah.
That is my douche of the week. Elon Musk. You went from being nerd hero to right-wing conspiracy fucking little dickhole.
And may I just say
You certainly may.
that being uncomfortable with your daughter becoming transgender, with your child making that choice for themselves.
So if you are doing that, now your daughter's becoming transgender. You wouldn't say my son has become transgender.
You would say my daughter is transgender.
Okay.
She is your daughter now.
Good to know.
And that's the thing is you would, man, I say that's the thing a lot to get my sentences started.
We all have little connectors.
Yeah, it really is.
I say testicles.
Those are your connectors.
Sorry about this episode.
Hey, my light just came back on.
That was me. That was, man, you guys have seen the rise and the fall of those guys you hate today.
You realize how easily we get excited over here.
You were the dark triad there for a minute.
That's the thing is that when you have a discomfort with that choice, I completely understand it because it's a big choice and there's very few people on earth are mentally ready to handle that level of decision right out of the gate. It usually takes a lot of warming up to and becoming it takes a lot of warming up to and then understanding the decision and then finally accepting the decision. Even if you don't accept it, to get on a stage and say in front of the world,
I didn't even consider that
my child is dead, you're a piece of shit. Yeah. That is the behavior of a piece of shit.
And we come from a family that knows what it's like to lose children. That's a devastating, it's perhaps the most devastating thing that can happen to a family, to opt for that because they're making you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'll admit, I just had this conversation with my son. I still to this day am uncomfortable, quote unquote, when I see two guys kissing, when I see two guys showing physical affection with each other, because it's just something that I have not seen a lot of in my life. And I'm the one who has to change.
Yeah.
That is an acceptable thing, and my primary instincts are wrong, and I need to change that. And I think that that's just understanding, and that's just wisdom.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that you're wrong. For
It's a little icky. I'm gonna say it, but I support your right to do it.
Hey, I kiss dudes and I think it's icky
Tyler,
a little
please
bit.
stop saying that.
I completely understand being uncomfortable seeing two dudes kissing. I completely understand it. But you're not wrong for feeling that discomfort.
Agreed.
It's not wrong. What I would say is not even that you have to change, although if you want to, that's wonderful. What I would say is if you are feeling uncomfortable, just accept that you're uncomfortable and move on with your life. Like, okay, I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to stop looking at that and walk away.
Nope. Immersion therapy, Tyler. Nope.
Do you mean conversion therapy?
I am just going to these bathhouses, Tyler, and I'm taking in as much as I can. I'm going to one of these bookstores where you leave your towel at the door, and I'm Jocelyn Jimmy's, Tyler. I'm working my way up.
Your terminology is just turning me on right now. And you keep mentioning these bookstores where you can have gay sex. You got to point me in the direction of these bookstores, these magical bookstores where you just get dick whenever you want. I've never heard of this in my life except from you.
When I was a Ute, my first restaurant that I ever worked at, Kansas City Steakhouse, there was a prominently gay man there named Ken. And this guy was so gay. He drove a motorcycle that was purple, and it had what are those things on a little girl's bike on the
streamers.
He had streamers on the handles.
That's pretty gay.
And he was wildly inappropriate with me. When I was a kid, He called me Pepper Shaker. And I was, the big pepper grinder. I'm not even going to get into it.
Gotcha.
And he called me Boo Boo, and I loved him. He was so much fun. He was so much fun. He would eat food out of the dish pit. He told me about these.
Ken.
He told me about the long blonde hair. He was fabulous. He was so much fun. Told me about these bookstores where you checked your towel and your clothes at the door.
That really stuck with you, huh?
Where are they? Where are they?
Right into us. You know, let us know. Give us an address.
We ask for your contact all the time. This time we mean it. We're Jocelyn Jimmy's in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I
anyway.
mean, there's bathhouses out here in Miami that you can go to, and those are super gay.
Okay.
But I've never heard of like a book. Like I'm gonna go.
But I like to peruse.
I'm gonna go read Moby Dick and then go get a Moby Dick.
Why? Okay,
You know?
Tyler, you are incredible. That was great.
Right. Let's take a break.
What did we just do?
Let's catch our breath.
Holy shit.
And we'll be right back.